We in America, we must recognize that these two worldviews are mutually exclusive of one another. And each view produces a wholly different approach to governance. Just as water and gasoline cannot mix, neither can these two worlds, views, mix. When one is in play, the other cannot be applied. When one is in play, the other cannot be applied. And what we're witnessing is an attempt to tear down the Judeo-Christian ethic in order to replace it with a human secular point of view. You got to know what it is that you're fighting. And how you start a thing determines how you finish it. And the framers of this nation started with a Judeo-Christian worldview. And what they constructed for our nation was designed to protect this republic from tyranny and anarchy. Tyranny is an oppressive, unjust government, a very cruel and unjust use of power and authority. Anarchy is a complete absence of government and political disorder and lawlessness. These two political extremes contradict fully the worldview of the framers. And so we, you and I, what we are witnessing in our culture today is a manifestation of a titanic struggle between these two worldviews. We must recognize what we're facing. And in recognizing what it is that we're facing, what it is that we're up against, for the purpose of this that I submit to you tonight, so that our response is appropriate, focused, and targeted towards a result that will rescue our republic from the godless socialists who want to rob us of our God-given unalienable rights. The remedy to this assault is constitutional. Many are wringing their hands today trying to figure out how can we respond to this? What should we be doing? I submit to you the framers of the Constitution have given to us the solution already. We must go back, inspect that Constitution again. Look at what they have given to us. And if our representatives are not representing our interests, we can vote them out or we can impeach them out. We do not have to recreate the wheel. We have the Constitution. Let's use it. Let's use it. And it's time for us to use it. Stop wringing your hands. Start reading that thing and recognize that you and I got a powerful instrument that we can utilize to get the suckers out. The problem is that we have been trusting them to do what we can only do, is to make them govern according to the will of the people. The remedy to this assault is a constitutional one. We must engage our representatives and our senators at both the state and national level and demand that they fulfill their constitutional duty, or we will send them home. We cannot assume that these people will do what is right. They've demonstrated that they won't. Nor can we afford to abdicate our responsibility to hold these people accountable. We must engage them every day with phone calls, with emails, with letter writing campaigns until we get the results that are best for our children and best for our nation. We cannot tire of this fight. We cannot sit down and take a break. My son played tennis here in Texas. He was a championship level, super championship level player. And at times I see him at home looking at television, and I would tell him this. I said, son, somebody in Texas is practicing right now. And when they meet you, they will beat you because you're not practicing. And I'm telling you, the problem with us as Americans, we have been relying and trusting our legislators to do what only we can do. We must insist that they represent our interests. We must insist that they stand on the Constitution. And if they don't, get rid of them. I'm telling you, I've had it up to here with the mess I'm seeing. And it's time for us to stand up. And if we don't, we deserve to lose our liberties. The time for action is now, right now. So we must write the letters until we get the results that are best for our children and our nation, and that would be the unalienable rights given to us by God. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as the forefathers said, quote, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted by men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to that end, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such a way to form as they shall seem most likely to affect their safety and their happiness. We have what we need. In those words, we have what we need to turn this thing around. They govern us at our consent. And I think if we say we're no longer consenting to your rule, you got to go. We can make it happen. We can make it happen. I'm deeply concerned. Listen to me. As I observe this audience, God bless you all for being here. But where are the teenagers? Where are the young people? If we're going to turn this thing around, they've got to be educated. And they've got to recognize what the framers have given to us. And that they are facing the most ominous and dangerous situation that our country has ever faced. These people are moving with such rapidity and speed that it is absolutely incredible to me to watch the Americans as we watch them move. It is almost that we are stunned in amazement at what they're doing. Let me tell you, that is something that happened in Germany when the Jews were walking into the furnaces. And they walked in there and didn't even try to stop or fight their way. They walked in because they did not believe that this was happening. They didn't believe that that humanity could be so evil, so downright ugly. And they just walked into the furnaces believing that the people would do right. I'm submitting to you tonight that that's where America is right now. We're believing that they will do right. They will not do right. Adrian said it best. They are our enemies, and we must resist them. I'm crying out for my sons and my daughters. I'm crying out for my grandchildren. That's who I'm fighting for. I'm just about over the hill. I'm on the checkout list. But guess what? I'm going to fight until I get out of here. I'm going to fight till I leave. And I encourage you to do the same. We have a constitutional remedy here. And the framer says, if that don't work, revolution. If that don't work, revolution. I believe it's time to wake up. I thank you for allowing me to come to speak with you and to be a part of this effort to generate some interest in this fight. We must fight. Not only must we fight, listen to me, we must win.